trunk that Grandma, I suppose, had when she married. And the dresses that they wore then were so big you couldn't get them in a suitcase. You had to have a trunk. And they had gone to New Orleans on their wedding trip. They took the train in E-Town for New Orleans, and then they came back by boat and got off in Louisville. But
do you have any of the dresses in there?
yeah.
Do you want to open it?
It has of can you imagine going on a honeymoon with all this? This is 2 trays, but it took that. Let's see, these are more modern. Mama's wedding dress was used by Kaki when she married. Kaki was too large to wear the bodice, but and she has the wedding dress and the veil the moths liked. This was one of her trousseau. It was my favorite. It's silk brocade. Put up like that. This has traveled around to several states. People borrowed it. Catherine Vaughn borrowed it one time when she was in Florida. And it went to the WMU convention in Richmond one year. And the Missionary Society. That's bustle in the back. Just a little. Mama's trousseau was made by Madame Glover, a seamstress in Louisville. A modiste, they called her. And she was quite highly thought of. Coat. I don't know what kind of skirt she wore with it.
Probably a black silk or something like
I
that.
think perhaps it was, I'll ask Connie if he remembers a coat that was, they took, it seems to me like the skirt to this, they took to make a coat. Can you imagine a little boy with a silk coat? At any rate, it's in right bad shape, but the lining, the edge of this collar had the mink on it, and Tanty took that to decorate a little winter coat for Kaki when she was tiny. And I still have the mink, because when she outgrew it, we took the mink off. So someday maybe somebody can put that mink back on in January. So all of these clothes are real old, or heavy, I mean. This is the elegant dress with the beading on it. And I say in shows. But they've been borrowed so many times, and I'm afraid that I wore this thing not too many years ago. It was in '76, I guess. But here's the skirt that goes with it. And it also has a little padding. Now we try to get rid of all that padding. Now, I don't know what kind of affairs Mama and Papa would attend that would they'd have to dress up like this.
They probably went to some of Custer's parties. Your great-grandmother did.
Oh,
Might have.
right. This is, you can't tell too much about these dresses this way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And it's hard to find a person who has a waist small enough that they can get into this. Because my father's wedding coat, it has the, I know, when I was a girl, we used to have Friday night parties, and this particular time it was just the girls who attended, and we were dancing the Virginia Reel, and I had to be one of the men, so I dressed up in Papa's coat. We had it out at Fannie Wells.
That's probably hand-tailored.
Uh-huh.
It's probably hand-tailored, isn't it?
Oh yes, I would think so. Uh-huh. This is my grandfather's wedding coat. He married in 1859, and I'm sure his brother, Uncle Chris, made that coat because he was a tailor, and my grandfather was a shoemaker. In Germany, they all had to learn trade. To my father's suit. A movie once when we first came to the farm down south of town. Kaki was about 6 months or 7 months old, and she was in the playpen, and I reached over to pick her up, and Burr was there with his movie camera, and he enjoyed. This is Grandma's, one of her wedding gowns, nightgowns, and it was the little eyelets there. I suppose it was laced up with ribbon, and all of that is hand done, quite fancy. Grandma and Papa's for a couple of years, I guess, before they built their home. And when Dad and I were down there one weekend, I guess Mama was cleaning out the trunk, and Anna and I had a devilish idea we would wear their 2 gowns, and we each put on a gown that night when we went to bed. To see the reaction of our husbands. They didn't know what they'd come to bed with. And there's another one. And it also had the little eyelets for lacing.
All handmade.
All handmade. Oh, there is machine stitching, but a lot of it is hand done. Yeah, I'm sure you're taking a picture.
Taking a picture of the lace.
Now, would you believe this is what the ladies used to wear That's a far cry to the briefs they wear today.
Well, they were well covered, weren't they? Have beautiful
Well, part
pantaloons.
of them was well covered. Seems to me like part would be a little breezy. All that lace is so pretty. It would be hard to find something like that today.
I should say.